See, this isn't cheating at all. My thumb's doing a lot of work. Today we're breaking down myths, Mythbuster style, except without explosions and cool stuff, because I just have tools. We're going to go over what I hear is the most common e-bike myths. We're just going to break down what's true and what's not. Yeah, that's going to be today's video. First up, are e-bikes cheating? Or I guess I shouldn't ask it as a question. E-bikes are cheating. The argument that e-bikes are cheating, I mean, it's pretty straightforward on the surface level, right? And it depends on the bike and it depends on the rider. But it's no different than when Apple Maps was released and some old guy will look at you looking on your phone, learning directions, and he'll be like, oh, look at you fucking cheater. Do the work. You know, back in my day, we used to have to use a compass and a map to get to where we wanted. It's like the same thing. Some purist named Craig is out here mad because he takes a lot of pride in how long he rides his bike for and how long he can go. And then he sees someone who doesn't ride nearly as much as him doing the same ride. Obviously, he's going to be a little butthurt. And Craig, we get that. I understand that. But you can take pride knowing that you're not on an e-bike. Doesn't mean that you have to impede on what other people want to do. Obviously, there's levels to this. Trail riding and stuff like that. I think I will make a video on, do e-bikes actually rip up trails? I'm planning that one right now, so stick around for that one. But the idea that e-bikes are cheating. I mean, in reality, if you're a purist like Craig, sure, you can call it cheating. But for the majority of people who don't have the time to get out and ride all that time, maybe they have a disability, maybe they have an injury, maybe this is the only way that they can actually get out and get exercise. You still gonna call them cheaters? I don't know, but I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say it's different. And at the end of the day, wouldn't you rather have more people getting out on bikes and out of their cars and out of their houses and actually moving, even if they are having a little bit of help? I don't know, Craig.
So you don't have to listen to my opinion. This study comes from the Journal of Transport and Health in 2017, doing studies on e-bikes, finding that e-bikes have shown to increase the amount of physical activity by older adults, also their ability to cycle, so people want to bike more. There's also significant improvements in health. Here's another study basically putting up an e-bike versus a normal bike, tracking their heart rate, tracking their calories, all that kind of good stuff. And they found some interesting stuff, mainly being that they found similar heart rates and calories burned on both e-bikes and normal bikes. But all this being said, let's be clear, these studies were done on pedelec bikes, which means only pedal assist. This does not apply to your class 2 e-bike, big fat monster boy like this guy here that has a full throttle capability. Okay, I am totally for these kind of bikes, but when you talk about cheating, this is about as close as cheating as you can get. So you still have all your assistance levels to assist while you pedal, but the big key here is this throttle. And the throttle is basically just cheating. I mean, if you see a guy riding by you like this, that is not e-biking or biking. Next up, e-bikes are way harder to maintenance.
Now, I did a whole nother video on literally just maintenancing, so go watch that if you want more information about maintenancing.
Now again, this can go pretty in-depth. If we're talking about maintenance outside of basic stuff, yes, it can be complicated. There's lots of wires, lots of exposed things, motors get pretty complicated, but again, it's really no different than if you have a full suspension e-bike and need to service your suspension, it gets complicated. Same thing with e-bikes. You don't need any special tools, but just to reiterate, if we're just talking about basic maintenance, things that you can do at home, it's really not too much more complicated. So here's me taking off a rear hub motor wheel, and we're going to change the flat tire on this bike. There obviously are a couple more steps that you have to do, but if you're talking about a reason why you shouldn't buy an e-bike, the extra maintenance really isn't one of them. Again, there's not much more you have to do than a couple things. In this video, I unplugged a wire and I removed the 2 rear axle bolts. That's about it. Now, because I want to be transparent with you guys and not mislead you at all, do understand that if you do buy an e-bike, yes, there will be a little bit more maintenance. Now, is it enough to not buy an e-bike? I would say no. It's not rocket science, but yes, it is true. E-bikes do take more maintenance.
Another myth, e-bikes can't get wet.
So obviously common sense tells you that electrical components shouldn't get wet, but I can say for the majority of e-bikes, Yes, you can ride in the rain, you can wash them with a hose. As long as you're not submerging them in water, they should be fine. Now again, I'm not speaking for all e-bikes, but pretty much everything. So this myth is busted.
E-bikes are expensive. You can't really compare them side by side because there's a lot of differences, right? Like on a mountain bike, $1,000 is going to be more in the suspension, and it's going to be more in the brakes and some of the components. Whereas in an e-bike, that money is going to be more in the motor, more in the battery. And again, it's hard to compare the two because they're probably riding differently. Now, if you put a side by side a electric mountain bike, standard bike, if they have the exact same components and then you stick a battery and motor on there, obviously the battery and motor are going to make it more expensive.
So overall, yes, this myth is true. E-bikes are more expensive, but you have to understand that you're getting more for that price tag. And it doesn't mean they're all crazy ridiculously priced. You can find some for $1,000 or lower, or maybe about the same price as an entry-level normal bike. So just make sure you keep that in mind.
We're getting into our winter season right now, so if you guys could like and subscribe, let me know if it's worth my time making these videos. If you have ideas for videos or want to know something or learn something or hear my opinion on something, again, just leave in the comments and I'll get to it. Thanks.